Hello and welcome to another episode of the Good Hearted Podcast. One really big way I take care of myself is by not spending money on shit that I think is stupid anymore. Ever since I became obsessed with Instagram and Pinterest, I started buying all kinds of things that I definitely did not need and most of the time didn't even want. I just didn't take the time to ask myself if I should be buying it. I would see that someone else had some kind of fun cup or, that my kitchen would not be complete without some kind of farmhouse sign or wreath or something like that. So I saw that Callie at But First Coffee on YouTube did a video like this and I loved it. And I actually thought that I had some unique things that I don't buy anymore. So thank you to her for the inspiration for this. So a few years ago, when I got really serious about decluttering, I was not about to bring random shit into my house after I did so much work to get rid of things. So I started being much more mindful of what I was purchasing and if I would have a home for it. And I was really kind of getting stingy with my money and I wanted to stop spending it on things that I would just get rid of in a couple years or months. And like I talked about in episode 23, going on vacation is a big priority for my family. It was really weird not going anywhere the year of 2020 because usually we like to take long weekend trips that are just like a 5-hour drive away or at least spend the day in Columbus or Cincinnati. And then we also try to do at least a week-long trip every year, somewhere new or somewhere that we've really enjoyed in the past. So I wanted to stop spending my money on stupid random things and instead put it towards bigger things like that would be more of an experience, a thing that we could go and have fun, and it wasn't bringing shit into my house. My biggest weakness used to be the clearance section. I would spend so much time going through every single item, every piece of clothing, trying to see if I could make anything work, even if it was broken and like $1.50. I would be like, oh, well, I can fix this. Like I have the perfect home for it. Or like I can make it work even if there's a stain or something's missing from the shirt, like something like that. I would just buy it because it was on sale. And hopefully I'm not the only one that's fallen into that trap before, that just because it's on clearance, it seems like it's a good deal and you have to have it. But then really what would happen is I would buy those things. I would almost immediately feel guilty about it. And then it would sit in my closet, hidden away in shame for months, years, however long I would let it sit there, and it would never be touched again. And then finally, when I would purge, I would get rid of it. So now instead of being like some kind of cat on the prowl when I'm in the clearance section, just looking for anything that will do, I'm much more strategic. I try to not touch anything if I can help it. I try to just browse or look for something very specific. For instance, if I'm looking for shoes for Harper or a black top for me, because that's normally all I wear, I will only look at those things instead of looking through every single item. And I try to make it as quick as possible. I try to just go right through it because I also get really upset when I waste my time. Like for our vacation to Florida, I ended up going to some outlet malls near us. And, it was just supposed to be a relaxing Saturday morning. Dylan was hanging out with Harper. I got to go shopping, right? It should be fun. No, by the end, I was pissed because I didn't find like any of the things that I was looking for. And I was thinking I could have searched for this all online from home and then done nothing. Like instead, I had to drive all the way out here. I had to walk all over the place, search in all of these different stores and not find what I was looking for. So I'm just over wasting my time in the clearance aisle. And honestly, even like TJ Maxx sometimes, which I do, I still love TJ Maxx, but I go through it really quickly. I don't spend hours in that store like I used to a long time ago. Just lately, I've been not wanting to waste a lot of time or money. Those things are both very precious to me. I want to protect them. And so I just try to do what makes the most sense, which is normally like sitting on the couch with a glass of wine and searching for something specific from a specific store, probably Target, maybe Amazon, and just getting that thing delivered to my door. And I don't even have to get out of my pajamas or make arrangements for Harper. So now I want to get into the specific items that I don't buy anymore. The first thing is lighters. So these are things that I used to buy all the time because I have lots of candles. And so I would get the really long ones that have fuel and all that. And I would have to buy like 2 packs every time that I did because I would go through them so quickly. Now I don't have as many candles as I used to burning because I have a kid who can like get to almost everything now. And so I don't have them on like every single surface like I used to, but I still have candles that I love to light. So I found these rechargeable lighters and I love them. It's definitely weird. Like you turn it on, right? And you plug it in to charge it. And then it's like a little torch. It's kind of weird. Oh, it's smoky. I was definitely feeling guilty about all of the plastic lighters that I was going through every year. And I actually saw my friend Destiny Stark had found one of those. I will link her Instagram in the description. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is brilliant. So I have two of them now. And I think I'm going to get them as like Christmas gifts or something like that because it's just such a nice little thing to have. It's rechargeable. I haven't had any issues with it. So it's definitely a win for me to have less waste. And we love something that's rechargeable. Next is books. So, you guys have heard me talk about renting books from the library, listening to audiobooks on Libby. I love doing that. So, I do not buy full price books like ever anymore. When I got back into reading, I did buy a couple books from Half Price Books, and they're actually back there. And based on the reviews, I knew that they were ones that I would likely read again. And so I got Beach Read, The Unhoneymooners, and then People You Meet on Vacation. So those are the only three books that I've purchased in the past year, and they were at Half Price Books, so they were at a discount. But every other book that I've read has been free from the library in either a physical book, an ebook, or an audiobook. And at this point, I've read about 20 books this year, which is humongous for me. Like, I've never read that many books, like, ever in my life. Like, maybe I had read 20 books from the beginning of my life until 2020 up to this point. So if I had to buy all those books in order to read them, I know I wouldn't have done it. So when I finally started renting from the library, I realized I could put books on hold. I just have to like walk in and grab it because before I was like, I'm going to have to search for those books. And like, I don't even understand how a library works. I wouldn't know how to find the section I wanted. And even during the pandemic, they were bringing books out to your car if you weren't comfortable going inside. But they also have apps like Libby at different local libraries that will let you rent ebooks and or audiobooks. And I just think that's great because like who is ever going to reread an ebook or an audiobook? Like maybe you will. That's fine. But for the most part, like I consume it once and I'm done. And even if I want to do it again, like I'll just rent it again and it's no big deal. So I just feel like that is such a great resource. So if you feel like you spend a lot of money on books or you are leery to start reading books because you feel like you're going to have to dump a bunch of money into it, don't worry. Check out your local library. I promise they will have some kind of website or maybe an app that will make it super easy for you to get those books and just get to enjoy them without spending money and then feeling guilty if like you didn't even like it. The next thing I don't buy anymore is purses. I used to be the girl that bought so many purses and I still felt like my friends bought more than I did, but I would still buy a couple every year. I felt like I needed a different one for each season. And sometimes I would even change them out to like match my outfit. And I was actually talking to one of my mom friends about this the other day. And she was like, isn't it amazing how now like all you need is your phone and your wallet? And that's it. Like you go with your diaper bag only when you absolutely have to. And none of your stuff is in there. Where used to we carried like these big, tote purses that had, I don't know, snacks, chapstick, chargers, lipstick. Like I don't even know what I used to keep in those big purses. So now I literally have one black crossbody purse that I got at TJ Maxx that is like Steve Madden. And I use that purse all the time. I love it. I used to think, I need that in like a tan or something like that. No, all I wear is black and gray, basically. So black goes with everything. And if it doesn't go with something, I just won't take it. Like I'll literally just take my phone with me and maybe my debit card. It is so nice to not be spending money on purses because they change style so quickly. And plus, I just personally don't need one. Some people definitely need purses. I don't. And the ones that I have, well, actually, I think I got rid of all of my purses except for that small black one. Now that I think about it, I do have a couple wristlets and wallets, but I will probably go through those soon as well because I just don't use them anymore. It's basically like it's either the diaper bag or that black crossbody purse, and that's all I use. So I also don't buy planners anymore. That is as of like the last couple months because I even bought some at the beginning of this year, knowing damn well I was not going to use them because I am the girl who's like, okay, I'm motivated. I'm going to like map everything out. I need to write it out. I need to see it. And then I will keep using this tool because it's going to keep me on track. And that's what's going to actually make my goals happen. And then I sit here and I have 3 planners back here that have been written in like for 2 days, maybe. My life is just not set up for a paper planner. Or maybe it's my personality type. Like, I don't know. I feel like I need it to get organized, but it doesn't work. What works for me is digital. So I keep everything in Trello for my business, which is amazing. I love it. It's perfect. I use scheduling apps for my social media. I use my Google Calendar for any personal things. Like, I don't need a paper planner anymore. So it's something that I'm like, bitch, you got to stop buying them because you don't use them. They don't work for you. And back in my episode with Alex Perry, where she did my birth chart reading, she literally brought that up. She was like, you feel the need to have all of these things to keep you organized, but none of those systems are working for you. So like, you need to figure out the system that works. And so that is definitely something that I've worked on and said, okay, I want to be the kind of person who uses a cute ass planner and can post pictures of it on social media. It's not me. And I've spent so much money on fucking planners and I have not used them. So I'm just accepting I'm not a planner person. I'm not that cool, I guess. I don't know. I need my life to be much more simplified. I need it to be streamlined. I need to be able to access everything on my phone and my computer. So keeping it all online is how I do that. Okay, please don't feel personally attacked with this next one. But I no longer buy stuff from Bath and Body Works. I know you're probably so disappointed in me and I'm sorry for letting you down. But it's kind of funny because when I was younger, I could never buy Bath and Body Works because all of their stuff dried my skin out. Like I've mentioned probably before, I have extremely dry skin. It's very, very sensitive. And of course, as like a preteen and teenager, I got tons of gift cards for birthdays or graduation parties or Christmas or whatever. That was for Bath and Body Works. And my mom would literally buy them off me because even though I loved how the product smelled, it tore my skin up. I literally could not buy them. And so once I was an adult, it seemed like my skin wasn't as sensitive. So I started buying their body wash and it was a wonderful time. But the lotion still seemed to irritate me. And over time, I was like, I'm just spending so much money on body wash and it's really not even doing anything for my skin. I think it really was drying me out more. I just didn't want to admit it because I loved having something that was good smelling for once instead of all of the non-scented, like lotiony kind of body wash where all of my other girlfriends had like really nice scented stuff and I could never use that. But I also used to love their candles and I will still get any blueberry shit that they make. I love their blueberry pancake candle. That is like my absolute favorite and the pumpkin waffle, I think, or pumpkin pecan waffle or something like that. Very good. I love their fall scents. So if I can get the 3-wick candle on sale for like $10 or less, I will go get those bad boys, but only in those 2 scents. But I won't buy anything else there anymore because I spend so much money on it when there's a good sale and then I end up not enjoying the product. So instead, now I buy Method foaming hand soap from Walmart or Target and I can refill those bottles and those actually smell really good too. And you get a little bit more in the container than you do the Bath and Body Works ones. I also use my old Cetaphil lotion now because that's all that works for me. Like all the scented stuff, just it dries me out. I can't do it. And I'm back to using my good old Dove nourishing body wash that doesn't smell like anything. But it's been good for me. I haven't been spending excess money on things that then I feel guilty about. And I use like out of guilt or I try to re-gift because I'm like, you dumb bitch. Like you knew this was going to break you out. Why did you buy it? And then as far as candles go, I love buying ones from TJ Maxx that are I think it's the D&W brand. It's like my absolute favorite. Those are usually the only ones I even buy from TJ Maxx. But if I see those, I'll get those because I feel like they smell better longer than even the Bath and Body Works ones do. So, and they're cheaper. So win-win. Okay. I just have a couple more things on this list. So I don't buy gift bags or cards anymore. So I will reuse gift bags that I have received. So either somebody gave me a gift or gave Harper a gift and I have that bag, I'll reuse that. And instead of getting an actual card, I will either write on the tag that's on the bag or make my own tag, or even better, I'll get, like if it's for a kid, I'll get them a book and that will serve as the card and I'll write some kind of little note in it. If I don't have a gift bag that I can reuse, I'll get one of the reusable totes. So they sell these at TJ Maxx, Joann's, Walmart, like literally so many places have them now in tons of different cute patterns. And so I love to do this at Christmas time. I'll stock up on some of the smaller reusable totes that have Christmas patterns on them. And I love using bags for Christmas gifts. I know people probably love tearing into like a wrapped gift, but I'm just all about as little waste as possible and as little clutter as possible. So if I can give somebody a gift in like one of the cardboard boxes that have some kind of like print on it, Santa or some shit, like I would rather give them that and them not be able to unwrap it than have to also wrap that gift and all that. So maybe that's selfish. I don't know. But to me, it's a little less waste and it's less shit that I have to keep in my closet for one time of the year. And some people love cards. I still love getting cards, but cards are hard because when you get them, you want to hold on to them forever. You put them on your fridge, you have to display them. You don't want to get rid of it because somebody wrote a really meaningful note, and they can be so appreciated by people. But for me, I would rather have a meaningful conversation with them than to write it in a card. Although I love writing and I feel like it is one of my gifts, I'm still better at talking. Like when it comes to connecting with somebody I love and that I know really closely, it's better for me to have a conversation with them. So I would rather do that. And then they don't feel like they have to hold on to my card forever. And for super special occasions, I probably will do a card still. Like all of these things, I'm sure I will end up buying them at some point. But in general, these are things that I choose not to buy. So when you're doing like a wedding gift or something and you're doing cash, like obviously you need a card because like what else are you going to put it in? But if I'm getting a gift, I try not to use the card. Again, less waste, less pressure on that person to keep that card. So again, just me personally. I also don't buy disposable razors anymore. I used to use those constantly, like because I loved having a fresh blade. I loved the style of this particular disposable one. But actually Dylan started getting the Harry subscription and then he like grew his beard back out. So I use the Harry razors all the time and I love them. I love having just to be able to put a new blade on. So it's like almost kind of disposable, but it was definitely cheaper than how much money I used to spend on all of my disposable razors. And the last thing we don't buy, and I say we because this is normally like a joint decision, is anything that has to be financed. So this is just like our general rule. We do not like to make payments on things. We have paid cash for both of our vehicles and for all of our house projects. The only thing we've had to finance since we bought this new house was the HVAC system because it was like 30 or 40 years old. And so like we needed a new AC unit, a new water heater, a new furnace. And like that was something we were not at all prepared to pay for. So we did have to finance that. But as a rule of thumb, if we have to make payments on it, we do not buy it. We wait until we can save up to buy it. And that has saved us a lot when it comes to interest. And also it's just made us really take the time to think about that purchase and decide if it was right for our family or not versus just going out and buying something and putting it on the credit card or something like that. So it's just helped us to be more mindful. Of course, everybody gets in a pinch and sometimes you have to finance things. And I totally get that. And again, we have done that. We will probably do it in the future, but usually we try not to do that. So that was all of my things that I don't buy anymore that I could think of for this episode. I'm sure in like a year, I could probably do this again and come up with some other things that I didn't have on this list. But I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It was definitely a little different, but I do think it is so important to take care of ourselves, to take care of our money, to protect our bank account, and all of those things that we want in life instead of just like nickel and diming it away on stupid shit at Target. So I hope that this episode was helpful for you. I hope it inspires you to maybe stop buying something, like not necessarily something on this list, but something that's just not serving you anymore, something that doesn't make you happy, that just makes you feel guilty or like you are just annoyed. You're like, why did I even buy that? Why did I tempt myself with that? So I hope that this inspires you to save some of your money that you would have spent on that, on something that you will actually really enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future ones. And I will see you in my next episode.